Hello everyone, this is Just a Dad. Today I'm going to see if I can fix this Keurig K Duo Plus coffee maker. So this one, the add water light will not go out even though I've got a full reservoir. We're going to open it up and see if we can fix the add water light. I'm also going to be opening it up and show you how it works and see if there's anything else we can repair on it. So the first thing, try some simple tricks. You may just have an air pocket in here. Push down on this little plunger a bunch and even put a little bit of water there. So put a little bit of water right on there and then use your thumb to kind of prime the pump a little bit, I like to call it. Pushing down on that little plunger. And then take a full reservoir and set it on there and off a bunch. That might be all that it needs, but no. And so every time you turn it on, so the add water light goes away when you turn it off, or if it powers down, the add water light's not there. But as soon as you power it on, add water light's there and it will not let you brew. Okay, so we're going to have to do a little bit more work. We're going to have to take it apart. First thing we're going to do is make sure it's unplugged. Okay, so I've got the unit unplugged. So let's take out these two screws right here. Next, let's get the reservoir loose, because depending on, I'm not sure exactly where you've got your reservoir, but just get the reservoir loose like this. So next we're going to get a screwdriver and we're going to pop this side off, okay? It's just got these tabs, and if you get a screwdriver in there, they will pop off. It takes a little bit of force, but we're going to pop them off. You'll have to keep working around, popping the tabs off. Same with up here. Okay, so once we get all the tabs off, it will come off to the back. There we go. There's kind of the clamshell that comes off the back. So it looks like these are grooved. So if you can slide the unit back, they will come undone better. Instead of just trying to pry them off, try to slide this whole thing back, and then these pieces will come out of, looks like there's a track for them that they go in. Okay, so let's take a look. On this right side, as you're looking from the back, here's where the Keurig comes, the coffee comes out. So on this side, here is the add water sensor. So what I believe happens, again, I'm not an expert on this, but this tube here is tied to the water tank. So if we look, here's the bottom of the reservoir, here's where you put, and that's where the water goes into the machine. See how there's two tubes? On another machine, I cut it open, and here's what it looks like. So water goes into both of these tubes. One goes to the pump that actually takes the water and sends it through the Keurig. The other one goes to the low water sensor. Okay, so I just saw the problem. So I was following this. So here again, here's the low water sensor. If you follow this tube goes all the way to the other side of the tank, to the bottom of the tank. Well, it's kinked. I don't know if you can see it, but right there, it's kinked. That tube, it comes down, it makes a really sharp turn, and then it got kinked somehow. I'm not sure how it got kinked, but we're going to unkink it. Then I'm going to explain the add water light to you. Okay, so I just kind of pulled on it, and that unkinked it. But if you push it back in there, there's a really hard kink. That water has to travel up into this low water sensor. And what happens is so as the tank has water in it, so imagine this tank's on the other side and it's connected to the tubes. So as this tank has a bunch of water in it, water will rise in this tube because the other end of this tube is just a vent. See how it's connected right here? Right here it's connected. That's just a vent to the outside so that water will raise and lower in here. So imagine the water goes down and it's going to get to right about here, and then the water will go down in this tube accordingly. It'll go below these two wires. So when there's no water between these two wires, you'll get the add water light. So with that kink down in there, the water was not able to rise up in here and make continuity between these two wires. And then as the water goes down, it goes down in this box. Keurig does this a lot with their Keurigs. This is the K Supreme. This is the exact same, this is their add water light. It's different on this one, but they've got two chambers. This is the add water chamber, and then here's just another chamber where it goes through. So there's the sensor wires, and you've got one that goes to atmosphere, and one goes to the bottom of the tank. And I've often wondered, so see how this goes to atmosphere air? You've got to find the other end of this. On a lot of Keurigs, it's up underneath the lid. It's kind of hidden. I've often wondered if a bug could get down in there, make a nest, and block that off, and your add water light would stop working. Okay, so I unkinked the hose by kind of pulling on it. And now I've got the water tank mounted to the back. I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to show you how the water rises in here. Okay, let's see if we can see it. Okay, did you see the water go up? I saw the water go up. I bet, and then as you take the tank off, the water will stay in there. But as the water goes down, that water will go down in that tube. Okay, so I plugged it in. I don't recommend plugging it in with the cover off. There's electricity in there. You can get electrocuted. So I don't recommend doing that, but I'm doing this for troubleshooting. Let's close it. Let's turn it on. You got to hurry up and set the time. Okay, I think it's working for the very first time. I think it's actually working. The add water light's not on. I can hear the pumps have kicked on. We're filling up that tank. On the other side, it looks like there's a big tank that has to get filled up and gets heated with water. And water is going down in the tank. Okay, I think it's fixed. It's letting us select now. I'm going to do a full carafe. I'm going to do the full 12 cups. And then I'm going to video, and we're going to watch this water go down together and see if the add water light comes on. Okay, so as the water's going down, you can see the water in this tube goes down also. That's the tube going to the add water sensor. Okay, so even though during the brew, the water drops down below there, see where the water ends up? It still allows the brew to continue, but now when we try to do a brew, it'll show add water. And now I turned it back on, and the add water light is working now. Okay, so now let's verify when that goes out. I'm going to pour water in here and we'll watch it. So now as we pour water in, water should go up in that tube. Okay, right there. Let's see if the add water light is out. Okay, the add water light went out. It now will let me select a K-cup or a carafe. Okay, so I've got the unit unplugged. I want to just kind of explain things a little bit. I've not had many complaints about this coffee maker. Some other Keurigs, the K Supreme for sure, has had a lot of complaints with the thermostat. So here is the thermostat on this side. So I am not sure if this thermostat is resettable or not. It's got this clamp on here, which would be kind of difficult to take that steel clamp off. There's a screw. So on the other side, it looks like there's a screw right down in there you'd have to take loose to get that clamp off. So this unit does have a holding tank. I wasn't sure if it did or not. It's a very quiet unit. Here's the water pump. So the water pump's going to take the water right from that other hose on the bottom of the tank. And then the water pump sends it right to this spot. So the water is going to come from the tank, from the pump, then it's going to go into this assembly. I'm sorry, so from the pump, it goes into the top of this, then it comes out, goes this way. Nope, I was wrong again. So the water comes from the tank. It comes here first, it goes into this assembly. From this assembly, it goes over to the water pump. This is the intake for the water pump. It comes out the water pump at the top, then it goes into the bottom of the tank, holding tank. Yeah, right there's where it goes into the bottom of the holding tank. So this holding tank's got like a steel part, and then there's a plastic part. And then over here on this side, we've got this, on K Duos, It's got to determine whether it's going to go to the K-cup or to the carafe. And that's what this part does. So it comes in and it's either going to go to the K-cup or the carafe. That's what this part does. It directs it either through this tube or this tube. Okay, so now back to this side. This is an air pump. And we know it's an air pump because it only has one output. If it was a water pump, it would suck water in and push it out. But it goes to this little device here, and that's going to kind of push water into the top of the water tank to kind of clean out the lines. So towards the end of the brew, you'll hear it kind of whoosh. That's the water pump kicking on. I'm sorry, the air pump. So it looks like a pretty big logic board. Then you got this little ribbon cable that runs up to the control head. And I can see why this tube might have gotten kinked in the first place, because you can move this reservoir all the way around, and that kind of gives those tubing some workout. So if you are moving the reservoir around, just keep in mind, be very careful with it. Thanks everybody for watching. I just took apart the other K-Duo. I wasn't able to fix it. It wasn't working, but I did take it apart and show everybody on the inside. I do have a video on the K Supreme, how to take it apart and reset the thermostat. Again, here's the thermostat on this one. I just don't know if it's resettable or not. Check out my YouTube merchandise. I've got a Just a Dad mug. It's a really nice mug with my logo. I've got one mug that has a logo on the front and the back, and I've got another mug that says, "What is your favorite coffee?" on one side, and it's got my logo on the other. If you look in the show description notes right below the video, you'll see a See More section, and in there I'll have a link to my storefront through YouTube. And if you go to my YouTube homepage, you'll see a store tab that you can click on, and there'll be some merchandise there. Thanks everybody for your support. I'll be taking apart some more Keurigs. I think I got the K Select coming up, the K Mini. I got the K Classic I'm going to be doing. Well, I even ordered a K Supreme Plus Smart. So the brand new Smart coffee maker, I bought one off of eBay that's not working. I'll be taking it apart and seeing how to fix it. Thanks everybody for watching. If you could, please like and subscribe.